What's going on? My name is Stephen Ratcliffe, and welcome to the Stephen Ratcliffe Show. I got a nice topic for you guys today. We're going to talk about these emergency funds. So let's get it started. So, we live in a world today where money is very important. Money is how we provide for our families. Money is how we take care of our children. If you don't have a family, you're a single man, single lady, money's how you take care of yourself. You need a roof over your head. You need food to eat, clothes put on your back, right? So money is overall important. But what we need to know is that money is also the thing that can stress you out. What I mean by this is, if your finances are out of control and out of order, what happens? It stresses you out. When a bill comes in the mail and the bill is higher than it's ever been before, what happens to you? It stresses you out. If you're driving a vehicle and your vehicle happens to break down for whatever reason, whatever the cause is, what happens? It stresses you out, right? So in this video today, we're going to talk about the importance of having an emergency fund set up. Now, I guess people will say, oh, well, wait a minute. We all make different types of money. What I mean the different money? I mean like different rates of money, wages. Let's say, no, I make $7.25 an hour, or I make $10.25 an hour, or I make $20.35 an hour, I make $50 an hour. I'm a salary employee, right? But I'm here to tell everybody, it's not about how much you make. It's about where you're putting your money and where is your money going out to. Because if you have a job, regardless of what it is, right, that means you have income coming in. What we need to figure out is that, where is it going, right? Is it going to things that are a necessity? Or is it going to what we call a want, right? So, the first thing that everyone needs to do, right, is to have an emergency fund. It is a blanket. It's a blanket of protection, right? Because if your car breaks down for whatever reason, right, and the repair is going to cost you $200, you need to ask yourself, do I have $200 to give right now? Or I can't afford to give you $200 because if I do, I can't pay this bill right here. Well, that's where the emergency fund comes into effect. Right? And I'm not saying get your paycheck on Friday, right? Take the whole paycheck, drop it into a savings, your emergency fund. I'm not saying that at all, right? I'm talking about taking your paycheck and understanding that you got different parts of a paycheck, right? When you get a paycheck, your money from the paycheck, right? Some of it goes here, some of it goes there. It might go over here, it might go over there, right? Well, we need to control where it goes. So let me help you out with a few things. One way that we can do this is an automatic transfer. When you say, Stephen, what is an automatic transfer? What do you mean by that? Well, easy. Let's say that you get your paycheck, right? And what you do, you set up an automatic transfer with your bank to take any portion that you desire, right, to go into an emergency fund / savings account / money market. We'll get more into those type of things in the next video. Right now, let's stay strictly on the emergency fund. So you get the automatic transfer, right? And you take a certain amount that you choose to go to that emergency fund. Example, let's say your paycheck is $600, right? And first thing first, make sure that you have your rent, mortgage, right, set up, right? Make sure you got food on the table, right? Make sure you have transportation, right? Because this is how you get back and forth to your job to continue making that money. Yes. But an emergency fund is not to be set up and fully funded instantly. Because we all have bills. We all have obligations and responsibilities. So for that transfer, Let's say your paycheck is $600 on the first. You can take 25 of that. You can take 50 of that. You can take 75 of that. You can take 30 of that. Heck, you can take 10 of that. It don't really matter. It's where you're starting at. You start that, and now it's set up. So let's say you take $50 out that check and make it go to the emergency fund account that you have set up, right? So every paycheck, you get $50 taken out. And in 1 month, you have $100 in your emergency fund. And then same thing the next month, and then the next month, then the next month, then the next month, right? You can choose what you want to go in that account. It is up to you. But when you start that process, guess what you're doing? You're taking control of your finances. It's not about where you start at, or where you start at, when you start. It's all about where you finish. And the goal is to be financially independent. Let your money work for you. You should control your money. Your money should not be controlling you. The thing you do is keep the change. Keep the change. If you go to the pump, you pay with cash at the gas pump, or you decide to go to inside the gas station to go buy some candy or a snack because you're traveling here to or from wherever, right? You take your 20, give it to the clerk. The clerk gives you $5.74 back. You know what you do with that? Put that up. And when the bank opens on Monday, if it's a weekend or if it's after hours, whenever the bank is open again, you know what you do with that $5.74? Take it to the bank and put it in the emergency fund. Every little bit matters. And I always tell people, you might say, Stephen, what is a good minimum for my emergency fund? And I always say, look at the world. Can you go to a grocery store and buy the same meat for the same price you bought it for 15, 20 years ago? No, you can't. Times have changed. Inflation is sky high, right? I would say a minimum of maybe $1,000, but I'm not saying put that in there at one time. I'm saying that can be your goal, your maximum goal, maybe whatever. Let's say, but you can do another thing. You can set your goal for 500, right? Once you get to that 500, make yourself a new goal. I'm gonna go $500 more equals 1,000, right? Set your goal. And when you reach that goal, you don't touch that money unless it is an emergency, all caps. I'm not talking about you see some shoes on sale. I'm not talking about, you want to go to this restaurant because it just opened up, or because you've seen it on TV and it's like, oh, it has great food and everything. Well, let me tell you something. Discipline is very important when it comes to building your financial discipline, building your financial independence, because there's always going to be things that will make you want to spend your money. Commercials, buy my shoes, buy my shirt, buy my pants, buy this purse, buy that, buy this, come buy this. Online sales, Amazon, we have to stop that, because all that's doing is draining our pockets, right? We don't want to drain our pockets, we want to grow them. I like that. You catch that? Don't drain them, grow your pockets, right? Another thing, income tax season is every year. Around January, February, March, April, May time frame, give or take, right? The question is, what do you do with that money? Yes, if I see a lot of people who will get their income tax money, they'll go on vacations, they're buying this, they're buying that. Why? The question is, do they need to buy this? Right? You have needs, and you have wants, right? I want these pair of shoes. Or do I need this pair of shoes because my child needs some different shoes because they got holes in them, or they're wearing out, or I need some different shoes because my work boots are getting tore up, right? That's different. Now, I want these shoes because they're limited edition. Or let's go to the beach and spend all this money at this 5-star hotel and 5-star restaurant. That's not how it works. Yes, it is a blessing from God to get an income tax check, right? But we have to use our money wisely. Use that money you get, whatever amount it is, use it for whatever you need, right? But remember, your main goal is to set up your emergency fund. That is the start to your financial independence. An emergency fund, you have to have that. I cannot stress how important having that emergency fund is. It will take away so much stress to know you have a blanket of covering, an emergency fund. To know that if something happens to your car, which I, God forbid, hope it does not, right? But if something happens to your vehicle, right? To know that you have some money put aside in an emergency fund you can use to get that car fixed the same day. To know if something happened at your house and the fee is $350, to know that you already have that set aside is a blessing. That will cause you to have no stress because you know what? I saved for this. I'm not going to stress out over this $350 because guess what? I have that in an emergency fund plus more. Yes. So once you use that, of course, you need to slowly get it put back in there, right? But you don't touch that account at all, again, unless it's for another emergency, all caps. Like I say, emergency doesn't count for shoes going on sale. Amazon has this. You know one thing I hate? I hate this phrase. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all might agree with me. I mean, here it is. Stores always have everything for sale. Let's be real. It's a store for a reason. Everything in the store is for sale. It has a price on it. But then they have a little thing in yellow or red or blue called, it says, for sale clearance, 45% off, 50% off, 75% off. People, when you're trying to take control of your finances, you're trying to build your emergency fund and take control of your life financially, just because something is on a sale does not mean you have to go buy it. I'm going to say it again. Just because something is on a sale for a cheaper price at a clearance or a discount does not mean you have to go buy it. Take control of your life. Take control of your finances. God is amazing, right? And I believe that everyone in this world deserves to be financially free. I believe everybody in this world deserves to be able to take care of themselves and their families beyond belief, right? But if we continue giving all of our money to the trillionaires, the billionaires, the millionaires, then what are we doing, right? They're getting richer by the moment while we're over here suffering. That's not right. The first thing to get your life started right, on the right path, is setting up that emergency fund. 500. I don't care if it's 250. 500. Then session next to go for 750. Then session next to go for 1,000. And then after that, right? You now have an emergency fund that you do not touch unless it's an emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot stress to you how important this is. And I'll keep repeating myself because I want you guys to understand and hear me when I say that emergency fund is a blanket and you need this. So I love you all. I'm a man of God, and I believe in just spreading the word and getting information to people. And so I want to see everyone succeed in this life. So thank you guys for listening to me today. In my next video, I will talk about a few more things when it comes to the emergency fund and where it can go to grow for you. Have a good night.